Swami Ramdas was such a wonderful soul. He was in midlife, actually. He suddenly had a revelation that suddenly all that existed was Ram. And he worked in this textile business, and he dyed some clothes orange and got rid of his other clothes, wrote a letter to his wife and to his employer, and he went off for a year. The year in this book, he went off for a lifetime, but and he talks about just everything is Ram, everything is Ram. And at one point, he was so immersed in Ram, so immersed in God, that he didn't even call himself I anymore. He referred to himself as Ramdas. And he referred to everyone that he met as Sadhu Ram. And the Sadhu Ram did this, and the Sadhu Ram took me here and took me there. And he said at one point, he was on a train, and there was a very strict ticket master, because at that point, sadhus were not being let to ride free on trains anymore. And so they came to the station, and the ticket master pulled all the sadhus out, and he lined them up and said, "Now stand here." And then there was about 10 of them. And the one nearest him was a young sadhu, and he had a jata, which is a tuft of matted hair at the top of his head. And the ticket master would be taking tickets from people, and every time he had a little pause, he'd reach over, grab the tuft of hair, and shake him really, really hard. And then go back to taking tickets, And then every time we'd get a little pace, he'd reach over and shake him really hard, give him a little cuff, these no-good sadhus. And Ramdas is standing there close by the little sadhu, and he looks at him and he sees this smile. He said he looked like he was enjoying it. And he said he looked very calm and contented. And then Ramdas thought, well, Ramdas would like a little taste of this pleasure, of the attention of the ticket master. And so he asked the sadhu to change places with him. But the sadhu refused to abandon his enviable position. and he kept getting cuffed by the station master. And then finally he took all the tickets and everything, and he was done with that. And so now he could put his whole attention on these sadhus. So he came over with the thought of handling them roughly, and Ramdas is thinking, oh good, my turn is coming. I get to have attention from the ticket master. And he was just beaming. He said, oh Ram, you just bless your lowly servant. And the ticket master came up and grabbed his hand very firmly, he was going to do something to him. And he looked in Ramdas's face, and Ramdas was just beaming. And he was just beaming with God's love and God's energy. And the Ramdas said, and the ticket master, he let go of my hand, and then he seemed to rethink things a little bit. That was the all-transforming love of him he had for Ram. And everything that Ram brought him, that was what was good for Ramdas. It didn't matter what it was. His heart was just completely open.